Patrice Cormier, the captain of Team Canada 2010, is on the ticket tonight as Denmark takes on Finland on day 5 of the World Junior Hockey Championship. Finns can book their place in the medal round with a win tonight. That would knock the United States out of contention. Starting goalies are brought to you by Chevrolet, driving our world forward. Christopher Gibson gets his second start in this tournament. He allowed 8 goals on 42 shots in a loss against Canada. He's in his second year with Chicoutimi of the Quebec Major Junior League. And for the Danes, it is the embattled Sebastian Foyk who allowed 10 goals on 51 shots against Canada. He has had his moments in the early going of the tournament, especially against the United States. He held the Danes in early, but the roof has caved in on him late in games.
As the pucks pile up against him, he gets sloppy in the goal. He starts to move around a little bit, maybe understandably so, as he gets worn down. And he's going to be busy tonight.
The Danes are down 4 skaters. 4 of them, and the third goaltender all suspended. There's a shot from Pulkkinen, who will be shooting from everywhere tonight. Last night in the Sweden-Russia game, or rather in the Russia-Latvia game, Evgeny Kuznetsov of Russia had a 9-point night, one off the tournament record. Michael Granlund, loose down low for the Finns, sends it back in front. Pulkkinen poked it wide. And now Patrick Bjorkstrand is away with it for the Danes. Long shot by Spelling, knocked away from Gibson. The Danes have had their moments in this tournament.
They have 4 power play goals in the tournament. They're dangerous when they've had the extra man. They are able to attack, but it's going to be so difficult for them tonight, Gord, with just 9 forwards. And a couple of their players, in particular Bow, dangerous forwards for them.
Meantime, the Finns are without defenseman Simo-Pekka Riikola, who was shaken up in their win against the United States. They're already without Olli Mata, the defenseman who was shaken up against Canada. So they've moved a forward back to defense, but there is Todd Bjorkstrand, the coach of Denmark.
And when I talked to him yesterday, Gordon, we had a chance to talk to him again today. The point he wanted to make to his team was that it's never all right to lose. It's never okay to not compete. And the players were suspended for making light of the loss against Canada. Not that you have to go hang your head and show false sorrow, but to compete and have pride in your jersey. And the message for him going forward for this program is that we can't just be satisfied to show up. It's a tough one for the players that are on the ice. It's embarrassing for the guys that aren't, but it's really the right decision.
So the Danes are already moving to the relegation side of this competition. If the Finns win in regulation tonight, that'll knock the U.S. down to that side as well. So the U.S. and the Danes would take their results to the relegation side, and that was an 11-3 American win. Then you play the 2 teams that got bumped down from the other side, and the worst record between those 4 teams goes down to the B pool next year. Germany is coming up.
Sure be a humbling result for the United States. What a disappointing tournament. In case you didn't catch it, they lost 5-2 this afternoon to the Czechs behind a brilliant goaltending performance from Peter Mrazek.
And also lost 4-1 to these Finns. Back at the line, the shot by Rutsu. Off a stick and out of play as Alexander Rutsu teed that up. Well, these expanded rosters in the World Championship sometimes make the benches somewhat cramped, but that won't be the case tonight for the Danes. And there is Raimo Helminen, the soon-to-be IHF Hall of Famer.
117 games in the National Hockey League, and he really found a difference in his team from game 1 to game 2. Against the Canadians, they got blown out early and felt that they were a little bit intimidated, nervous on the stage. They were much better, much more competitive against the Americans.
Really feel that had they played a couple of days later, a much different game. We saw them play an exhibition game against Canada in Calgary last Monday, and they were very good in that game.
And because of the results and the way that the tournament's shaken out so far, a Finnish win makes tomorrow's game against the Czechs a battle for second place.
And that is not insignificant.
To avoid the loser of the Russia-Sweden game would be remarkable for those teams, and that's what the second place finisher in this pool will do.
That's the last thing you want to see in your quarterfinal game is the Russians or the Swedes. There's a shot from Hakanpää that goes high and wide. And Michael Granlund spins loose down low. Pulkkinen's got a stick in the air waiting for the one-timer. Takes the pass. Long wrist shot goes off the leg and wide. I haven't seen a player in the tournament who likes to shoot the puck as much as Pulkkinen does.
No, he is very aggressive. He gets it, he's going to shoot it.
And now a steal by the Danes as Joakim Linnet moved in. He was taken down quickly by Konsta Mäkinen. And the play is called offside at the finish line.
Lots of room on the Danish bench with the suspensions of the 4 skaters. There is a backup goalie as each team carries 3 in the tournament. So Todd Bjorkstrand was able to dress when Dennis Jensen is the backup. Jensen actually got into some time against the Americans in the first game of the tournament.
Finland and Denmark have never met in this competition. 2 years ago, the Danes shocked the Finns at the Senior Men's World Championship, beat them 4-1. Denmark's had some surprising results in international hockey. In 2003 at the World Championship, the Danes tied Canada the year Canada went on to win the gold medal. And in fact, here's a chance for them now. Patrick Bjorkstrand working in, and Hakanpää slams him down hard in the corner. Nicholas Jensen is playing for the Danes tonight. Has a Canadian father, Dan, who was a member of that Danish team in 03 that tied Team Canada. In comes Meyer with a shot from a sharp angle. Gibson makes the stop on him and hangs on.
Christopher Gibson, as you mentioned, Gord, with the save and the start. His numbers have really taken a dip this year in Chicoutimi of the Quebec Hockey League. .921 save percentage this year, 89% this year. So his year has not backed up onto a year where he was drafted by the Los Angeles Kings in the second round.
Gibson's been in North America for quite a while. Came over at age 15 to play for the powerhouse Notre Dame program in Wilcox, Saskatchewan, and won a TELUS Cup Midget Championship with them in 2009. And the list of great players from Notre Dame is a long and illustrious one. Matt Zeller can't clear that out. And Alexander Barkov, a 16-year-old for the Finns, plays that down. Back it goes to Mäkinen. He pokes it wide. The shots are even at 2 apiece here. Over 5 minutes gone in the opening period. And that pass drew Finland's Ville Pukka out of the zone.
If you're the Danes, Gord, you want to chisel away as many minutes of this game as you can. Shorten the game as much as possible to give yourself the best opportunity. So 5 minutes are off the board. That is a success for them.
Bjärrum plays that back down to the finish line. Pukka waiting for it. Plays it to Pine. And by the way, Michael Kurinen, a forward, will play defense in the third pair for the Finns with 2 of their D-men out for now. There are some hopes that Olli Määttä might be able to play later in the tournament after he got blown up by Boone Jenner in the opener for the Finns. We're told that Simo-Pekka Riikola should be good to return later in the tournament for Finland.
Määttä, one of the Finns' best defenders. Remarkably, the Finns were able to hold the Americans to 1 goal without Määttä, who's the 3rd-ranked skater in the Ontario Hockey League.
Michael Granlund drops and the shot fired wide by Teemu Pulkkinen. Hakanpää with it. Fires that wide of the goal. Hakanpää, 4th-round pick of the St. Louis Blues, has unveiled his powerful shot in this competition. And Gibson had to play that quickly away from Meyer. And now the pass for Michael Granlund missed. And a bit of a disjointed start for the Finns so far.
The Finns look down at the Danish bench. They see that they are undermanned. And you have a group of players that's kind of sleptwalked their first 6.5 minutes of this game. This is not a start that Raimo Helminen will be very happy with.
Todd Bjorkstrand is a native of suburban Minneapolis, Minnesota. Grew up in Minnetonka. Played at the University of Maine, then went over and played in Denmark for a long time, and has them in the A pool of the World Junior Championship. And there's a chance for Nicholas Jensen, and that's turned away by Gibson. Nicholas Jensen, the 1st-round pick of the Vancouver Canucks, gets a stick on that and knocks it out. Jensen has been a bright light for the Danes in this competition. Kernan turns the puck over to Meyer. Kernan, the forward, playing defense tonight. Peels back and leaves it there for Makinen.
That'll teach him for knowing how to skate backwards.
What, you were never asked to do that when you played?
Never. The two things that would have never happened, me playing back on defense, or if one of the goaltenders was hurt, there's no chance.
Oh, I thought you were going to say killing a penalty.
Oh, that too. There's no, well, I guess there's three things.
I would like to see the look on your face when asked, however.
I think I would have been I think I would have been excited to do it. Just after a while, you just know it's never happening.
Salomaki sends that ahead for the Finns. Because Salomaki scored the first goal of the game against the U.S. That key first goal the Finns got. There's a shot by Salomaki. Knocked down by Foyt, and he'll hang on. 12-10 to go in the opening period. Still no score between Finland and Denmark.
The Danes' best player is Nicholas Jensen. How tough was the game against Canada? He had an assist. He actually played pretty well, but when you're the best player on a poor team, you play all the time. He was also -7.
Ouch. Player of the game, though. It's a nice belt for it.
Peter Mrazek didn't get one today, despite his miraculous performance.
Oh, if you were with us earlier, Mrazek, of course, was tremendous in the win against the United States. Wasn't the player of the game because the team staff actually picked the players of the game, and the Czechs, like many teams, don't pick the same player twice. Dropped by Donskoy in his Armia, backhands it back in front for Donskoy. Foyt down, makes the save with his arm. Shots are 4-3 Denmark in a scoreless first period. Joel Armia drops that down, score! Fired home by Salomaki, and the Finns have a 1-0 lead.
Now Salomaki scored the first goal against the Americans. He's a hard-nosed player. I've really grown to like the grit that he plays with. He's got bite to his game. Nashville really likes the way that he plays at both ends of the ice. This is a goal that squeaks through Sebastian Foyt, quickly taken from below the goal line. Some nice work really on the forecheck by Armia to keep the puck alive, and Salomaki scores the first goal 2 games in a row.
So the Finns have the lead.
Unassisted, time to go 8 minutes 36 seconds.
You wonder how long the Danes can keep up the 200-foot game as Pulkkinen corks the shot. It's kicked out by Foyt. Now Pulkkinen with the steal, and it's slipped up by Tobias Hansen. Across the line is Michael Granlund. And Granlund shoots up high on Foyt. Bouncing puck for Marcus Granlund, who kicks that in front. Finns have been 5th or worse in each of the last 5 World Juniors.
The one thing that they can look at is they're going to play most likely for second place in this pool tomorrow. And they've got nothing virtually from this top line, which is one of the best in the tournament.
Pulkkinen just rattled another shot off the glass.
He's not hit the net much, but as we used to say, it sounds hard.
And a penalty coming up for the Danes for an elbow, and so the Finns up by 1 will go to the power play as Joakim Linnet goes off.
Gord, you talked about how long can the Danes keep up a 200-foot game. Well, this is going to be crippling for them in their attempt as Linnet leaves his feet and gets the elbow up high on Michael Granlund, and now this very dangerous Finnish power play will take to the ice.
Although it has not been productive in the tournament.
And again, we can look at that #1 group for them as not being able to cash. So the second group starts for them.
0 for 9 are the Finns so far in the power play. And this age group, through the under-17s, under-18s, and the World Junior, has been dynamite on the power play. Donskoy in off the pipe. Armia drops that down to Donskoy. Backhand pass in front. It's flipped wide by Hakanpää. Donskoy back on it. Pulls out of the corner. Goes back to Polka. For Donskoy, winds up and fires. Save made by Foot. Rebound. Oh! There's a great shot by Hakanpää. And it's 2-0 Finns.
Well, there's their first power play goal, Gordon. after missing a wide open net on the rebound. Hakanpää doesn't make the same mistake twice. Good work by the Finns controlling the puck on the one side of the ice, and Donskoy, who'd hit the post earlier, passes this through. Hakanpää misses the open net, but they've got control again, and it's going to be a shot from Donskoy, a secondary shot from Salamäki, and then in from the point for Hakanpää, who makes no mistake.
Hakanpää is not hard to spot in the Finnish lineup. He's a good 3 inches taller than any one of his teammates. He's 6'5". Christensen a long shot that goes wide, so the Finns are up 2-0 on 8 shots. And the chances of the United States, slim to begin with, are dwindling even further. Alexander Barkov plays it in, the 16-year-old. His dad, Alexander Barkov Sr., was a great player for the Soviet Union, played in 3 world championships, wound up settling in Finland, and now his son's playing for the national junior team. Going a long shot, knocked wide. Christopher Gibson, the goalie for Finland, has a very unfinished sounding name. His father is actually from the UK, a martial arts instructor who moved to Finland, married a Finnish woman. So Christopher Gibson, who has a name unusual for his country and for the Quebec Major Junior League, is the goalie for the Finns. Back to the line is Poka. His hard shot scores! 3-0 Finland.
Billy Poka is eligible in the draft this year. Just 17 years old. Nice work on the forecheck here by Hannakainen to hold the puck. This deflects off Linnet. And already a dejected look at Sebastian Foyt. Has to pull this one behind him.
And once again, Coach Todd Bjorkstrand of Denmark has had to go to his timeout early to try to calm his troops down.
When you're this low on players, you can't chase the puck all over the place. When you get back into your zone, you have to form a really tight structure. As soon as Denmark starts to chase the puck around, there's going to be too much room, and the Finns will exploit them. 3-0 under 12 minutes in.
Harder is the last bit of advice. Can't be easy when you are the minnows playing the big fish. Somewhat surprising that Denmark won its B pool. This is a country, though, Denmark, that has only 23 indoor arenas. The city of Edmonton has at least 45. So Danish hockey is in a deep hole in this tournament, but the key for them, trying to survive. Heller's going to go off, and the Finns up by 3 will go to the power play when we come back.
Shorthanded again are the Danes. Sondergaard in the penalty box for tripping. He's chasing Granlund down, and he gets his foot in the position that it looks like he takes Granlund down, and so the Finns go back to the power play.
Reads to Leinen. Plays it down to Michael Granlund. There's Pulkkinen, tees it up, misses the net again. He's either fix the radar or get bigger nets.
That's 3 of them for him that if she shot wide already.
Comes again, Pulkkinen shoots off a leg and wide. And reads the line and back with it. Plays it across to Michael Granlund. Pulkkinen comes drifting in. And reads the line and shoots. Foyt makes the save and hangs on.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Finland on the power play as Michael Granlund brings it in. Granlund looking in front. The shot by Ruutu, kind of an off-speed shot. That's steered away. Knocked down at the line by Marcus Granlund. Backhands it across, and Pulkkinen couldn't tap that home. Pulkkinen now for Ristolainen. And Ristolainen, Pulkkinen's got a stick in the air again, calling for the puck. And Ristolainen winds up and shoots, bounces down around in front. Cleared to the line, but not out. Pulkkinen back with it. 45 seconds to go in this Finnish power play. Michael Granlund. Minnesota Wild first-round pick back for Route 2 with a shot, and Foyt got hit by that. Ristolainen to Pulkkinen. To Michael Granlund shoots. Foyt the save. The rebound picked up. Christensen to the line, but not out. Ristolainen takes the return pass, winds and fires off the post. Marcus Granlund winds in. And the pass goes back to Ristolainen. Wrist shot, and Foyt makes the glove save and hangs on.
Ristolainen shot the puck 4 times on that power play. And the youngster can really get rid of it. This is a quick backswing. Foyt has no look at it. He's looking to his right. The puck goes to the left, and you see it jolt off the goalpost. Ristolainen's not eligible till the 2013 draft.
He just turned 17 earlier this month.
So the Finns defense, 3 youngsters.
Makinen plays it across. Foyt comes across to make the save on Salomaki. The teams are back to even strength. Well, the World Juniors expected to be in Finland in 2016. You're starting to wonder if some of these guys could still be playing then for them. Off the angle, Foyt makes a save on Salomaki. And Hakanpää has to retreat as the Danes bring it ahead. Joakim Linnet comes in. He got crunched in the corner. Now to an open wing, it goes to Donskoy. And Donskoy takes that away. Busting in along with Armia. And Donskoy was poke check. And buried by Patrick Bjorkstrand, and the coach's son is going to get a charging penalty.
You ever get coached by your dad?
No, never. Never. My dad was just a supportive dad. Never played. Now Coach Todd Bjorkstrand watches his son take a rather poor decision penalty.
Bad enough to go back and face the coach, but
got to get a ride home too.
Yeah.
It's difficult for the Danes here, Gordon. They try as hard as they can. They're just not deep enough. Now they don't have enough players, and you make a few mistakes, and you're just not able to work your way out of it.
There's Pulkkinen, another shot that misses the net. And Ristolainen with it. Pulkkinen sends it back in front. Pulkkinen, a 4th-round pick of the Detroit Red Wings in 2010. He had horrible injury problems his draft year. A bad knee, a broken wrist, a shoulder that needed surgery. He was a broken house when the Wings picked him.
But he can score and he can shoot. And he's got some terrific instincts.
Just gave the puck away to Nicholas Jensen. 2-1-1 for the Danes. Jensen in, shoots, Gibson makes the save, and the puck trickles just wide. Best chance for Denmark in the game. The shots are 15-6 in Finland's favor, and now Marcus Granlund brings it back the other way. Jannik Christensen falls. Salomaki has it. 50 seconds to go in this Finnish power play. In comes Salomaki. Hakanpää feeds it across. Poka back to Hakanpää. The rink wide pass for Pulkkinen. Great pad save made by Foyt. Pulkkinen finally gets one on goal, and the goaltender makes a terrific right pad save. Pulkkinen feeds it back to Poka, shoots, Foyt to stop, and then Madsen just pounded that off the end boards.
I'm not sure where he thought that was going to go.
Pulkkinen feeds it across. Foyt down, Marcus Granlund turned away. And Poka plays it back ahead. Pulkkinen off the pipe. And finally the Danes clear. Poor Sebastian Foyk, look at him, he's out of gas. Polka back for it. And Hakanbah through the middle. Salamaki up ahead to Donskoy. As Donskoy shoots, and Foyk makes the pad save on him. Armia spins around and fires, and Foyk again sprawls down to make the save. And the shot clock continues to tick up. It's now 19-6. All appearances be that the Denmark-Latvia game will be the one in the relegation side to determine who goes down. They changed the format this year. Only one team will go down instead of two, which has been the case for the last half dozen years.
I'm not really sure what the definition of under siege is, but I got the feeling this might be it. Terrific save here by Foyk on Teemu Pulkkinen, then Pulkkinen hits the goal post. This is all on the same power play, and then finally Donskoy with a difficult chance that Foyk puts the right pad on as well. 19 shots in 18 minutes for the Finns.
Hovinen comes it across the line. It gets knocked away from him, and Ruutu knocks it out. Also tonight, Switzerland playing Latvia. The Swiss have been an early tournament surprise.
40 shots against the Russians. They take the Swedes to a shootout.
And the round robin wraps up tomorrow night, and a couple of dandies coming your way. In Calgary, it'll be Sweden against Russia, with first place in Group A on the line, and Canada will take on the United States here in Edmonton.
And the early game here as well will be significant, as we've talked about briefly. The Finns and the Czechs will be playing for second place in this pool.
Reaches the line and works his way in. A wrist shot. Foyk goes down and makes the save, and then a late whack there from Rupe Hamalainen. Draws a bit of a crowd.
You would think that the Finns would start Sami Adekalio in the game tomorrow against the Czechs. He's backing up tonight after a terrific performance against the Americans.
It is a quick turnaround for the Finns. They play tonight and then come back tomorrow against the Czechs. I mean, obviously this game is not as much of a test, but you're still playing into a short turnaround. A 1:30 local start tomorrow.
The only thing that helps mitigate the short time is that this game starts early. It's not a traditional, as we would think traditional, as 7 or 7:30 start. But the guys get up early, and it's the old adage, sleep quick. That's an important one tomorrow afternoon.
And spaghetti for breakfast.
Pancakes.
Across the line. Was that yours?
Early games, pancakes and eggs. No spaghetti at 10 in the morning.
1 minute left in the first period.
Foyk makes the save there on Hannakainen.
Never choke down spaghetti at 10 o'clock.
Some teams do serve it at the pregame meal.
Some guys eat it. I don't know how they do it.
Polka shoots, and Foyk able to make the stop with 46.5 seconds to go in the first period.
Well, has he seen a lot of rubber, Sebastian Foyk, in this tournament?
More than a skunk on the Trans-Canada.
Oh, look at his jersey. It's just got marks all over it.
His mask. Well, it could be worse. He could have no marks on him. They could be losing by 40. .30 seconds to go in the first period. And Michael Granlund sends that across. Granlund to his brother Marcus, shoots, and that was blocked by a sprawling Emil Christensen. And now Marcus plays it back in deep. And Ray, one thing about the Finns is that this big line is not going at. Pulkkinen almost whipped to that one-timer. And when the games start to mean something, i.e. tomorrow, their big line needs to get going.
They absolutely will need them to produce, but they can look on the positive side, and I'm sure they will, that they're in this position without much from them.
22-7, the shots on goal. Finland leads Denmark 3-0 after the opening 20 minutes. You're watching the 2012 World Junior Hockey Championship on TSN. Our first intermission is coming up.
First period scoring summary is brought to you by Chevrolet. Driving our world forward, Mika Salamäki leading the way with 1 goal and an assist. 3-0 for the Finns after 1. Now let's throw it back to Gord Miller and Ray Ferraro.
Thanks to Bill. There's a concern for the Finns going to the medal round is that their top line, Michael and Marcus Granlund, along with Timo Pulkkinen, has 1 goal so far in the competition.
And that 1 goal was a power play goal that Michael Granlund shot off the foot of John Merrill of the United States in their last game. But if there's one sign that they'd like to see, it's that Pulkkinen get loose to shoot the puck. He shot it 7 times in the first period, was credited with 2 shots on goal. He also hit the goal post. Pulkkinen is a shooter. He can really release the puck. He gets himself open. On the power play, he rings one off the post. And as we mentioned earlier, Gord, as this tournament moves along, and in particular tomorrow against the Czechs, they're going to need more, and they're going to need some production from Timo Pulkkinen, Michael and Marcus Granlund.
So if you're just joining us to reset, if the Finns win this game in regulation, that will knock the United States out and will set up a second-place showdown between the Finns and Czechs tomorrow. And the significance of that is whoever finishes second will avoid the Russians or the Swedes in the quarterfinals next Monday in Calgary. Russia and Sweden play tomorrow night in Calgary. There's a centering pass that bounces off the skate of Marcus Granlund, the Calgary Flames draft pick. And now Nicholas Jensen, the Vancouver first-rounder, brings it ahead. And Mads Eller with him. A centering pass for Eller and a penalty coming up. It's going to be Ville Pukka who goes off for taking down Mads Eller, the 16-year-old younger brother of Montreal's Lars Eller.
Eller gets himself to the net and he beats Pukka up the ice. The Danes' most dangerous player is Nicholas Jensen. He goes across and you see the hook by Pukka as he gets the stick of Eller off the ice. Eller ends up running into goaltender Christopher Gibson in the Finnish net. This may be the Danes' best chance to get back in the game.
Denmark has 5 goals in the tournament, 4 of them scored in the power play. The problem is the man who has 2 of those power play goals is one of the suspended players, Matthias Bau.
Scored a couple of them in the loss against the U.S. in the first game. He had 2 and Spelling had another.
Emil Christensen out the Danish power play. Pass ahead to Nikolai Meyer, who plays for Malmo in the Swedish Junior League. A lot of top Danes over the years have played in Sweden. Mads Eller is doing that. Lars Eller did it. Nicholas Jensen, of course, is playing for Oshawa in the Ontario Hockey League. He has the puck now, leads the Generals in goal scoring. And Jensen winds his way in. Nifty move. He's taken down. And Jensen slides it back, but Emil Christensen wasn't ready for the pass. And Painen comes in for the Finns shorthanded. He's stripping the puck. And Spelling takes it back the other way. Spelling across the line with Meyer. A backhand shot stopped by Gibson. Rebound, and Meyer stopped by the glove of Christopher Gibson.
Nikolai Meyer scored against the Canadiens. A wrist shot that beat Mark Byzantine to the blocker side. And this is a real nice play by Spelling on the back check. He takes the puck away and then has room to get up the ice. Nice move, one stop by Gibson, but this is a difficult, quick save for Christopher Gibson.
50 seconds to go in the Danish power play, but Denmark having trouble gaining possession. And now Hakanpää knocks it down, shoots and put that just wide. And now Christensen swings back. Jannik Christensen, the Danish captain, sends it ahead. And now Larson knocks it back in for the Danes. Just 20 seconds to go in this power play. 6 Danish-born and trained players who played in the NHL. There's an asterisk for the 7th. Paul Pupil, remember him? Played in the World Hockey Association in the NHL. Was born in Denmark but moved to Canada as a child.
I remember him from my hockey cards. Played with the original Vancouver Canucks.
Nicely done. So tomorrow night the round robin wraps up, and we will have the New Year's Eve edition of Canada against the United States starting at 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific tomorrow.
Both teams are playing at full strength.
Nice player. Polka steps back on the ice for the Finns, and now Patrick Bjorkstrand comes in offside, and Reese DeLynn gave him a bump on the way by.
If you're just tuning in, the Danes are playing with a much reduced roster. They suspended 4 skaters after a 10-2 loss to Canada. When they went into the press room and were yucking it up about the loss, they sat down at the table and did a full interview press conference, and Todd Bjorkstrand, their coach, suspended them for the game today.
Now, they're not suspended for the tournament, and to be honest, this game for Denmark will have no impact on their standing in the tournament. So Bjorkstrand could kind of waste one here to send a message. The games that matter for the Danes will be in the relegation side. Michael Granlund works in, Polkanen drops it back, and a shot right on by Marcus Granlund, picked up by Foyt. Here's Michael back in front, and the save is made again by Foyt on Marcus Granlund. That's 2 in the last 20 seconds, and Michael Granlund fires the puck wide. Polka. Polkanen, back to Polka. Michael Granlund has that bounce back in the corner. Drops it back, and Hakanpää with a shot. Now the rebound. Polka shoots. And the rebound rolled down to Patrick Bjorkstrand, who cleared it away. Polka back with it. Long wrist shot, hit someone in front. Marcus Granlund shoots again, and Bjorkstrand blocked that. So Bjorkstrand with an excellent save percentage on that shift. And now Polkanen comes right back. Drops it out, takes a return pass, and shoots. And Foyt stops that. Centering pass goes to Michael Granlund, drops it back. Kernan comes in and scores! Michael Kernan, a forward playing defense tonight due to injuries to the Finns, scores to make it 4-0.
That is a minute of target practice for the Finns. Kernan walks into the play here. Michael Granlund's looking actually for his brother Marcus. It goes through everybody's feet. Back to Kernan, and Sebastian Foyt is gassed as he dives back across. Can't get there, and the Finns are up 4.
You always wonder, Ray, in these tournaments, if a game like this is good for the Finns or not. Because the game against the Czechs will be nothing like this tomorrow.
So if you look at the Finns tournament so far, they played a game where they were overrun,
embarrassed in their own terms.
Then a game where they were really good. Now a game that is really not a contest for them. It's tough to get a sense of any momentum they would have.
Armia got bumped there. And Joel Armia, who announced his arrival to this tournament a little late, sort of halfway through the U.S. game, has been quiet again tonight. Christensen plays it away from him, and Nicholas Jensen has it. And Jensen with a long lead pass for Linnet, but he was going off on a change. Icing was waved off as Gibson moves it ahead. 5 gone in the second period. Armia brings it across the line and gets the puck easily by Patrick Madsen. And Salomaki has it. And the Finnish player got tangled up with the linesman. And Donskoy sent that ahead. Hovinen comes in and shoots, and Foyt makes the stop. Anna Christensen ahead for Nicholas Jensen. That rush was stymied by Hovinen. And Barkov drops it back to Armia. He was stripped from behind, and as the Finns touch up, that'll be a hooking call against the Finns, giving Denmark another power play.
Armia will go for hooking after the puck is taken away from him. Instead of moving his feet and chasing, he reaches out and hooks Nicholas Jensen. Here he's okay at this point, but right here, once he wraps up the arm and then gets his left arm across, it's a rather easy call.
Patrick Bjorkstrand wins the draw back to Emil Christensen. Spelling, the forward who works the point in the power play, drops it down. And Nicholas Jensen shoots it wide. The Danes did take something out of their 10-2 loss to Canada. They scored twice in the third period and felt that they did battle a little bit.
They liked it till it got to 7-2. They weren't happy that they reverted a little bit back as the Canadians scored the 3 late ones.
Crowd hollering for his shot. It finally comes. Foot kicks it up. Meyer on the rebound. That's blocked. Jensen shoots. Look out. He just missed Emil Christensen's head. And now Nicholas Jensen sends it in. Jensen back with it. Tees it up. And the save was made by Gibson. The 11th shot of the game for the Danes. And it's fired right back down. Nicholas Jensen had a strong training camp for the Vancouver Canucks. Moves it in. You got a chance to watch him here up close. Tough with these. To evaluate someone who plays with a team like this, but what are your thoughts?
The Canucks really like the way he skates. They liked how combative he was and how he's able to play with the puck. Like many young players, the issue was strength, but they were pleasantly surprised with how well Nicholas Jensen did at training camp.
What have you thought here?
Trying to do too much by himself. Almost there's nowhere to play a give-and-go game with. When he's at his best, he moves the puck out to the side or takes it back himself in full stride, moves it once back and forth. There's no one to play give-and-go with, and now you deteriorate into a one-on-one game.
So for the Finns, a host of National Hockey League futures as you take a look at the players who've all been drafted. In 2011, there are 6 of them, including Armia, who was 16th overall. Michael Granlund was a 2010 first-round pick of the Wild. And has been called by some the best player outside the National Hockey League. Would have played in the World Junior last year if not for a concussion, so this would have been his 4th World Junior Championship, something that's only been done by a handful of players. Rio Ruotsalainen was the first, a Finn. Jochen Hecht of Germany also did it.
Olli Määttä is going to have a chance for the Finns. He's played it twice already, a 16 and 17-year-old.
Aaltonen plays it down low. Here's Pulkkinen. And Pulkkinen drops it back. Ruotsalaisen's wrist shot was blocked. And Aaltonen's centering pass bounces down to Foyt. Can't sweep it away. Foyt looked like he was trying to pick up a rubber ball. And it's finally cleared away. Pulkkinen drops it back to Michael Granlund. Off-ankle shot. And that puck deflects up and out of play. 11:36 to go in the second period. Finland leads Denmark 4-0.
Danish coach Todd Bjorkstrand continues to push and prod to try and get as much as he can out of his roster. They're well aware that the game for them is the relegation game. But that doesn't mean that anything less than a push or a solid effort is acceptable for them. They want this program to grow.
Michael Granlund plays it back. Ruotsalainen couldn't get a good shot away. Now an interference penalty coming from Pulkkinen. And the Danes are going back on the power play.
Third penalty of the period for the Finns as Pulkkinen sticks out his left foot right here for the trip, and Mads Eller flops onto the ice to draw the penalty.
Danes are 0 for 2 on the power play.
Team Finland penalty to number 6.
Shots are 30-11 in favor of the Finns.
46 seconds.
Spelling plays it down to Bjorkstrand. Jensen back for Patrick Bjorkstrand, and Spelling with a shot. Turned away by Gibson. And Meyer got spilled there by Makinen. Nicholas Jensen. Spelling plays it across. Bjorkstrand with a shot. Gibson save. Rebound. Meyer 2 whacks at it. Gibson down. And now pushing and shoving breaks out. And Emil Christensen in the middle of that pile. Nicholas Jensen as well. Now remember, fighting is prohibited. It carries with it an automatic game misconduct and likely suspension.
Christopher Gibson sharp here on the power play. Nikolai Meyer, who led the Danes in their Pool B qualifier tournament, the one that made them eligible for this. He had 12 points in 5 games, gets 2 whacks at the rebound, and then Ristolainen shoves him into the back of the net, and the scrum starts. Looks like no penalties will be called as a result of that.
Incredibly, no IHF rules were broken in that entire exchange.
The only thing they're going to do is move the face-off outside the blue line.
Wow, see? Showed them. Christensen jumping it across the line. Here's Meyer with it. Minute 14 to go in the Danish power play. Patrick Bjorkstrand with it, trying to kick that across, and now Meyer with it moves in front of rolling puck. And it was swept out by Hämäläinen. Thomas Spelling up for Patrick Bjorkstrand. He comes diving in. Bjorkstrand peels back in the corner. Drops it back to Jensen. Jensen was asked, by the way, that his name be pronounced that way, not Jensen, the way his dad said it in Canada. And now Hakanpää intercepts and sends it down. So his dad Jensen from Toronto, goes to Denmark, has a son whose name is Jensen. He's going to play in the NHL in all likelihood. And I'm guessing people will call him Jensen.
He can keep telling and keep helping the announcers out.
Here's Jensen in and shoots. It's off a leg and wide. Larson with it. Back in front, a chance. Fire just wide by Rasmus Bjerre. 10 seconds to go in the Danish power play. A long pass ahead for Bjerre. That missed. Ristolainen can't fight it. Now it's sent down to the Danish zone. And both teams are penalized players back on the ice. 9:10 to go in the second period. Finland leading Denmark 4-0. And there's an icing call against the Finns. Hard to say who would be the favorite in the Finland-Czech Republic game tomorrow.
I would have said Finland before I watched today. Here's that last scrum. Watch number 4 for the Finns. Konsta Makinen, as Meyer is shoved into the net. Meyer's stick comes up and catches him right under the visor. Fortunately, he's all right. Wrong place, wrong time.
Sondergaard in for the face-off, but it's won cleanly by Marcus Granlund, who goes across to his brother Michael. They play together at IFK Helsinki in the Finnish Elite League. Michael Granlund was tied for the league point lead when he left for the World Junior Championship.
50 points in 29 games.
And the third scorer in the Finnish Elite League is Steven Dixon, who World Junior viewers might remember was a member of Team Canada in 2004 and 2005. Won a gold medal with Canada in Grand Forks in 05. Plays for Asat Pori in the Finnish Elite League. That's the team that Joel Armia of Finland plays for. Big miss there by Sondergaard. And now the puck the other way to Michael Granlund. Granlund works in. The trailer is Donskoy. Couldn't quite reach it. And Donskoy back onto Michael Granlund. Back in front. Donskoy sends it across. And the shot stopped by Foyt. What a save as he slides across and takes that away from Pulkkinen. 4-0. Finland leads. We're back to Edmonton after this.
Sebastian Voigt's only given up 1 in this period. The Danes have been helped out by being on the power play 3 times, where they've been their most dangerous.
Salomaki leaves it there for Armia, whose centering pass goes off a stick, and Donskoy knocks it down. Emil Christensen feeds that across. Wildly unpredictable 2012 World Junior Hockey Championship. Topsy-turvy down in Calgary with the Swiss giving the Swedes, giving the Russians a lot of trouble. A couple of upsets here in Edmonton. And now Nicholas Jensen brings it in for the Danes. Looks like the United States is not going to be in the medal round. So if the Finns win this in regulation, the Americans would be moved down to the relegation round, which means the best they could finish would be 7th in this tournament, and that's rough stuff.
Another terrific save for Sebastian Voigt. He gets the blocker, and the shaft of his stick is actually what makes contact with the puck, as Timo Pulkkinen gets another scoring chance.
Donskoy in across the line, drops it back for Armia, working in a backhand shot, stopped by Voigt. And Salomaki leaves it there. Sondergaard to the line, but not out. And Ristolainen has it. Ristolainen works in, walks in, wraparound drive, Voigt down, and the puck just blocked by Voigt, trickles wide. Just to finish the thought on what finishing 7th would mean, the groups are determined strictly on the basis of finish. So the Americans, say they finish 7th, would be in with the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th place team. So right away, you're in a tough group to start next year's World Junior. And we have another penalty coming up, this time to Jannik Christensen.
A high sticking penalty on Christensen. Well, they're going to call it a slash, actually.
And there may be a clock issue here. Trying to sort through that.
Both teams at their bench.
And the last play, the wraparound try by Ristolainen is being looked at to see if maybe the puck did cross the line.
Ristolainen gets it around the back of the net. It's not in. Nice move by Ristolainen. Nice help here by Christensen, and an excellent toe save by Sebastian Voigt. So this means the penalty will stand, and the Finns will go on the power play. There's the best look at it.
Finns are 1 for 3 in this game, 1 for 12 in the tournament, and there's another surprise, because you would have thought, based on what happened in the pre-tournament and leading up to this event, that the Finnish power play would be one of Finland's strengths.
Almost everybody that we talked to said that the one thing that you don't want to do playing the Finns is take a penalty, because of the historic success of the group of players they have on this roster on the power play. They just haven't found a way to cash it in.
Reason for that, you think?
I think they've had enough chances. I don't know that they have enough traffic in front of the goaltender. They look like they set it up for the one-timer at the top of the circle. That's their go-to play time and time again. We've got 2 real shooters on this unit. Of course, Pulkkinen, but Ristolainen, who has the puck now, can really shoot it.
They put that in the feet of Patrick Bjorkstrand, and he's away short-handed. Bjorkstrand can move, and he comes, shovels it on goal, and a penalty coming out. The crowd wants a penalty shot, and they're going to get one. Michael Nord calls the penalty shot, and so the Danes will have a chance to get on the board.
Team Denmark has been awarded a penalty shot.
Pretty good wheels here by Patrick Bjorkstrand as he intercepts the Ristolainen pass and takes off. Ristolainen gets the hook on him. I don't know about this being a penalty shot, I got to be honest with you.
You know what? Just go with it, okay?
I'll go with it. So it's a penalty shot. Here goes Bjorkstrand.
Bjorkstrand in on Gibson. Patrick Bjorkstrand scores! Oh, look at that.
I don't care if you're coaching the team or not, that's still your son. Your son scores on a penalty shot. Your club is on the board. Down 3-0 after one. They're now down 4-1 with 6.5 minutes left here in the second as Patrick Bjorkstrand squeezes this through the wickets of Christopher Gibson. Gibson puts his head back because he knows he stopped a lot of it, just not enough.
So in 4 games in the preliminary round, the Danes have been on the board in 3 of them. They were shut out 7-0 against the Czechs. 4-1 to score. And back comes Donskoy the other way. Donskoy to Granlund. And back goes to Donskoy. Hoka. Hakanpää. Works his way in, sends that rink wide. The shot by Donskoy struck Tobias Hansen in front. That staggered Hansen, who is limping noticeably. That long shot was blocked as well. The puck loose in front for Armia, couldn't get a shot away. And Salomaki has it. Salomaki winds his way back. Takes a return pass and walks out in front. Salomaki still with it. Cradles that puck across to Armia. Newell Armia tries to feed that across. Hoka able to keep it in for the Finns. Madsen is still limping out there. And Salomaki gets the puck and shoots, scores! Mika Salomaki. He's got 2 tonight, and the Finns are up 5-1.
3 points for Salomaki, who was shaken up in the game against the Canadiens after taking a Boone Jenner hit against the boards. Salomaki, who scored yesterday in the 4-1 win, has got 2 here today. Up over top of a game sliding Patrick Madsen, who had been limping around for about 35 seconds out there, and it's another power play goal for the Finns.
Team Finland goal scored on the power play by number 22, Mika Salomaki.
Now busting in is Michael Granlund, sends it for Pulkkinen, a rolling puck, and Pulkkinen couldn't get a shot away. Marcus Granlund looks down for Michael. Pulkkinen has it. Taps it in for Michael Granlund, member of Finland's World Championship winning team last spring. Now a centering pass goes off a leg, and Sondergaard knocks it down. Finns won the World Championship, and Michael Granlund played a not insignificant role with 9 points in 9 games, including that lacrosse-style goal that became an internet sensation. Finns won the World Championship for the 2nd time in their history. And didn't take a lot of their big-name players. They didn't take their veterans. They took a young team. Mikko Koivu was the captain.
Maybe the most famous part of that Finnish win was an old teammate of mine, the goalie coach, Pasi Nurman, taking a header off the airplane with the trophy.
That was unfortunate. He missed the first 4 steps. There's a centering pass off the skate of Marcus Granlund.
If you haven't seen it, you need to YouTube it.
Yeah.
His head actually dents the trophy. What a great guy Pasi Nurman it is. We used to tell him in Atlanta, if you're not going to stop the 5th one, don't bother stopping the first 4 because we're exhausted out here.
Back come the Finns again. It's Barkov with it. Tries to shovel that in front. Foot cut down. The centering pass knocked down by Foot. He'll hang on with 3:15 to go in the second period. Talked about Marcus Granlund becoming the internet sensation with that lacrosse-style goal. Heck of a move to shovel it in like that.
I mean, this is great skill to be able to do it while you're playing a game. It's one thing to do it at practice when you got all kinds of time to fold your stick underneath the puck, but it's pretty sweet hands.
You could argue that per capita, Finland might just be the best hockey country in the face of the earth. Only 5 million people in the country. And they've done some damage over the years in international competition.
There's a grittiness to them. They play hard. They don't give an inch. There'll be a problem for somebody here before this tournament's out.
They've won the World Junior twice. First in 1987 as Barkov comes in and shoots it wide. That was the year Canada and the Soviet Union were disqualified for the brawl in Piestany. Now fed back to Hakanpää. Aaltonen with it. 2.5 to go now in the period. The second Finnish gold medal was one of the great moments in Finnish hockey. 1998 in Helsinki. They just opened the new arena there, the Hartwell Arena. And Nicholas Hagman scored the overtime winner for the Finns in the gold medal game and set off a celebration that lasted for months. Penalty coming to the Finns. And that shot from Larson goes wide. And now with 2:05 to go, the Danes will go on the power play.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Fourth penalty of the period for the Finns, and on the turnover, Nicholas Jensen gets an inside position. That hold there was enough for Hakanpää to take a seat.
Patrick Bjorkstrand, the Danish goal scorer, who struck on the penalty shot, was thrown out of the face-off circle. Now back at the line is Spelling. Drops it for Jensen.
55 seconds.
Bjorkstrand to Jensen, works in front and shoots. Gibson makes the save. Now Bjorkstrand back on it. 1:45 to go in the period. Jensen to Bjorkstrand. And the crowd again hollering for a shot as Jensen works in, shoots, Gibson save, rebound loose in front. 3 Danes converge on it, and no one got a shot away. Now Riistalainen's away, a chance for a 2-on-1. It's 2 defensemen. Now the third comes in and Painen hammers it wide. Odd to see 2 D-men up front with 2-on-1, but that was the case. Now one of those defensemen, Michael Curran, is a forward playing defense tonight. Nifty move by Spelling coming in. Backhands that just wide. Bjorkstrand on it. Again, the Danes are playing with just 9 forwards in this game. As they suspended 4 skaters and a third-string goaltender for an issue last night. They're now walking in. Hanakainen shoots it wide. The Danes making light of their 10-2 loss to Canada. Another Danish player brought down. Crowd wanted a 5-on-3. Hanakainen peels back in the corner. 35 seconds to go in the period. Christensen drops it back and then almost banked in off Foyt. And now Michael Granlund steps up, takes the return pass, but that was broken up by Christensen. Puck stolen away by Granlund. Works his way in, drops it back. Marcus Granlund uncorks a shot, and Foyt makes a great pad save. A long drive, Søndergaard on that. The Danes get 1 and trail 5-1 after 2 periods of play. You're watching the 2012 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton. Our second intermission is coming up next.
Second period scoring summary is brought to you by Molson Canadian. Here's to the game this land gave us. Proud sponsors of Hockey Canada. Shots are 38-20 at this point for the Finns. Now let's throw it back to Gord Miller and Ray Ferraro.
Well, the score is 5-1, but Sebastian Foyt, despite having the roof cave in on him a few times, has actually had some pretty sparkling moments in this game and in the tournament.
He's shown the heart of a battler. He really has. He's faced 160 shots in this tournament. When I watch him play, I'm reminded of the description of the old Flyers and Maple Leafs goalie Doug Favell. That's like, he looks like a bowl of Jell-O without the bowl. He's kind of all over the place. He hangs around, he gets his pads out, he does whatever he can to keep the puck in front of the goal line. It's not the most stylistic performance, but man, he's hung in there for an undermanned Danish team.
This is Denmark's final game of the opening round. They'll go on to the relegation side in Calgary. Tomorrow in this building, the Czechs play the Finns in the afternoon game. Canada, of course, against the U.S. at night. In Calgary, Slovakia, Switzerland in a key game in Group A, followed by Russia, Sweden at night. And we will have 3 of those 4 games for you on TSN, including both Canada and the U.S. and Sweden, Russia. Centering pass for Pulkinen, the return pass from Marcus Granlund got knocked away. And now Jensen brings it ahead along with Meyer. Jensen works in front and shoots. That hit a leg in front. And Hakanpää beats the puck ahead to Marcus Granlund. Moving in with Michael, and Michael Granlund sends it across. The pass too far for Pulkinen. You've got to think that Raimo Helman will be telling them shoot those pucks tomorrow. Pulkinen wraps around and shoots, and Foyt gets the pad on that. And a penalty right off the hop, and it's going to Denmark. It'll be Jensen who goes on for the elbow.
Jensen's got a bit of an edge to his game. There's some bite here. He's taken a couple of penalties in the tournament. He's gotten involved in some scrums. There is just a careless penalty. He gets his hands up into the face of Timo Pulkinen.
Picked 29th overall by Vancouver in the 2011 draft. Here's Hakanpää across the top. Slaps it down. Armia shoots, and that goes high and wide. And the puck goes out of play.
Another quiet night for Joel Armia. Man, he either scores or you don't notice him. That's the way the tournament's been for the first-round draft choice of the Buffalo Sabres. He's got great hands. He's got good size. Seems to be a bit of a lurker. Kind of hang on the outside, look for the opportunity, and then have the skill to cash.
There have been some good lurkers in National Hockey League history.
Yeah, but it's becoming more and more difficult to be that type of player with the speed of the game.
And steaming in is Donskoy. He was poke checked there by Tobias Hansen. Brought back up by Armia. And Salomaki feeds him. Armia walks in. Backhand score!
On cue.
Lurking, scoring.
Doesn't take much. He just needs a sliver of light. If he were harder on the puck or more aggressive to it, he'd generate more chances. But he's got good size and good reach. And as soon as he finds one little sliver of room, watch where Armia takes the puck. He sees the room, one stride, and he's almost going in slow motion as he scores past Sebastian Foyt.
Armia, who has 8 goals in 31 games in the Finnish Elite League, gives the Finns a 6-1 lead. And the book is closing on the United States. A regulation win by Finland in this game knocks the U.S. into the relegation side and sets up what should be a dandy final day in the opening round, as Finland takes on the Czechs for second place in Group B. Jensen out of the box brings it in. And the play kept alive for the moment by Eller. And now Jensen takes that pass in the corner. Stepped neatly around Mäkinen. And the open side he goes to Emil Christensen. A long shot that hit Kurinen up high. And Kurinen chips it ahead. In comes Ruutu back in front for Kurinen. And that pass misfired. Jensen works his way in, and this time Painen has to turn him away, and the sharp angle shot almost tapped home by Meyer. Jensen had the first chance, and Meyer was standing right in front for the rebound. Now alternate. Lifts that up for Hannikainen. Painen. outlets that pass, and now it's knocked down by Ovinen. The advantage, of course, for Raimo Helminen is he doesn't have to wear out his bench tonight. He can roll 4 lines, use all of his defense. And of course, that defense is 2 men down with both Olli Määttä and Simo-Pekka Riikola out. I mentioned Riikola is expected to return. There's a chance in front. A great save by Foyt. Made on Hannakainen. And Hannakainen back with it. Has it stripped away.
A nice little feathery pass from Hämäläinen. Set up that last chance, and again Sebastian Foyt left all alone. Just see, nice little flip pass. Hämäläinen to Hannakainen. You want to say that a couple of times, and Hannakainen denied.
Of course, the Finns playing in a building that really saw Finnish players burst onto the international scene. The Edmonton Oilers were early to tap into the pipeline of Finnish players. Reijo Ruotsalainen was one of the first. Jari Kurri, Esa Tikkanen, a host of them.
Ruotsalainen never shoot the puck.
Little wee guy, too. He just pounded. And now Foyt hangs on to that. The Finns had thought they'd scored, but Foyt kept it out.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Jari Kurri is number 17, hanging from the rafters here. And there's Pulkkinen with a shot. Scores! Finally, Pulkkinen finds the net. Snaps it by Foyt, and it's 7-1.
When you were talking about Reijo Ruotsalainen and his size, I thought instantly of Pulkkinen. He's built almost the same way as Pulkkinen. Short, stocky. This shot deflects off a Danish stick. Face-off win by Michael Granlund. And the shot deflects here up over the glove of Foyt, because Foyt just gets a piece of it.
By the way, credit for those Oiler players goes to one of the great Finns you'll ever meet, Matti Väisänen, who was the Oilers' Finnish scout, found player after player for them, including Raimo Helminen, who went on to become the coach of the Finnish national team before the players had a mutiny on him and refused to play for him. So not this Raimo Helminen, my apologies, sorry. Now Bjorkstrand brings it in, feeds it across, and it's knocked away. Salomaki plays it back. Here's Donskoy, feeds it across, walking in his arm. He just shovels that aside for Salomaki. 7-1, the Finns lead. Hakanpää plays that down. And Donskoy battles for it. Sondergaard flips that down to the Finnish zone. Hakanpää back to pick it up. Hakanpää has drawn the attention of some of the scouts here, Ray, for his play on defense for Finland.
I like the way he covers the ice. He's a big guy, rangy. St. Louis 4th round pick. He can really shoot the puck.
And this is Hakanpää with it now.
Was the last cut on the blue line from last year's team.
Finns went 3-3 last year in Buffalo. All 3 losses were in overtime, including the quarterfinal. They were beaten by the Russians. They had 3 5-star chances to win that game in overtime. The Russians put them away and went on to win the gold medal.
Talked about the Finns in the second period a little bit. The feistiness that they play the game with. They're kind of, in a sense, like Canada Light. They don't have the same depth. Of course, they don't have as many players, but they're aggressive. They have guys that can score. They generally have good goaltending.
In comes Eller, feeds it across. Jensen with a shot that got blocked. That Canada Light is not by accident, Ray. The Finnish Ice Hockey Federation and Hockey Canada have long had a coaching sharing arrangement where Canadian coaches have gone over and Finns have come here. Wayne Fleming, the Tampa Bay Lightning assistant coach, has spent a lot of time over in Finland. The Finns have learned a lot from Hockey Canada and vice versa. The Finns were one of the first countries to have a national goaltending coach who traveled around from team to team. Bjorkstrand makes the extra move. Spelling's offside. 12:47 to go in the third period. Finland leads 7-1.
In that last break, the Finns' Konsta Mäkinen is headed down the runway back towards the Finnish locker room. We've talked already that the Finns are down a couple of defensemen, Olli Mata and Simo-Pekka Rikola. Losing a third would be devastating to this team.
And they're young to begin with. As you pointed out early on, they had 3 underage defensemen to start with. So injuries and youth could be an issue for the Finns.
And 2 of the defensemen are eligible for this year's draft. A third, Ristolainen, is not eligible till 2013.
Hakan pilots that wide of the goal. And injuries have become a factor for a number of teams. Grigorenko of Russia injured last night, didn't look good at all. Of course, Canada lost Devontae Smith-Pelly on the opening day with a broken foot. And you cannot replace skaters unless you leave a roster spot open. Teams file rosters of 20 skaters and 3 goaltenders. So if a goaltender gets hurt, your third goalie can play. But if you put 20 skaters in, you can't replace anyone.
Have you seen teams leave 19 skaters on purpose?
Well, yeah.
Just in case?
Yeah. And at the World Championship, the rules are even more relaxed, where you can replace players and add them. But the difference is budgets here, and it's not fair. So, for example, if you allow teams to replace a player, and Canada had one hurt, Canada can place a phone call and bring a guy in from an hour away if they want to. As Pulkkinen comes in, centers it. Michael Granlund shoots off the pipe and up and out of play.
Wow, that was a beautiful play. Pulkkinen across the ice to Michael Granlund. Marcus runs the center route to occupy the defense, and Pulkkinen finds the seam. Nice little outlet from Ristolainen, and that's the 17-year-old defenseman we're talking about that's not eligible for the draft until 2013. Marcus Granlund lifts his foot to allow the puck to go across to Michael. That's a lot of room for him to finish, but he rings it off the bar.
And now Pulkkinen fires it home again. And it's 8-1.
Where we talked about going forward about this top line for the Finns needing to get on track. Michael Granlund, a beautiful play off the face-off as he puts it through Niklas Jensen's feet. Jensen's not a centerman. This should never happen to a centerman. That your opponent puts it through your feet. That's a nifty play by Michael Granlund, and Pulkkinen buries it on the blocker side.
Team Finland goal scored by number 6, Teemu Pulkkinen.
Jensen now takes the puck away and brings in Niklas Jensen in, stopped by Jensen, trying to feed it back in front, and Army is back for the loose puck. 11 to go in the third period. It's 8-1 Finns. There'll be a lot of talk, Ray, about, again, with some one-sided scores, about shrinking the field for this tournament or doing something to stop the one-sided scores. But the fact that at the World Senior Championship, at the World Women's Championship, at all levels, you get that, and it's the only way countries get better. Salomaki works in, it rolls away from him. Donskoy can't get a shot away.
The one thing that you've brought up in the tournament before is that the qualification process perhaps can be streamlined, in that a team that qualifies should have those same players available for the tournament.
14 of the members of the Danish team that qualified last year were too old to play this year. And that's an ongoing problem at this level, where there are, of course, age limits. And now Ruutu comes steaming in. He's got Aaltonen with him. And Ruutu tried to feed that across, and sprawling the dive on that. And there's another chance for Ruutu, but a great defensive play made there by Martin Rabat.
the son of former NHLer Christian Ruutu, has a chance off the right wing, and he ends up getting flipped over top of Robak, who slides to take away the pass across on the 2-on-1. And Ruutu spills into the end boards.
By the way, I think I said Raimo Helminen earlier, the former coach of the Finnish national team. Raimo Suominen was that man who was the quietest Edmonton Oiler of them all, and then morphed into a madman as the coach of the Finnish national team.
He coached Nova Scotia, Edmonton's farm team, in the American Hockey League. And he was the coach in one of the wildest brawls that I was ever involved in.
Really?
He and Larry Plow, who was our coach, ended up trading fisticuffs outside the locker room. The brawl actually got so out of hand, I don't know why this was a thought by the police that it would help. They brought a police dog onto the ice.
Our dogs on the ice. And a guy that tried to beat it in front.
The dog was scratching the ice, licking it. I'm not sure what he was looking for, but it was of no consequence for the brawl. But it was crazy, and Suominen was the coach.
There's a bad save by Foyk on Pajanen.
By the way, the brawl was in pregame warm-up.
Well, Suominen learned that, honestly. He was a line mate of Kevin McClellan and Marty McSorley at one point. Was asked what his role was. He said, I pick up all the sticks and gloves at the end of the shift.
If you're any good at it in that role, you can pick up both sticks and all 4 gloves in one swoop.
Really?
When the other guys are fighting, it's no use making 2 trips to the box.
All the things I'm learning tonight. Ristolainen for Michael Granlund. The old pregame warm-up brawls, we certainly miss those.
Well, thank goodness.
Used to be commonplace in the Western Hockey League to the point where, until just a few years ago, Western Hockey League teams used to warm up separately. Booker knocks that wide. Did you do that when you played?
No, they hadn't gone to that. They were trying all sorts of things. One of the great changes was when they decided the home team would supply all the pucks for warm-up.
Right, because you used to bring your own, right?
You'd bring your own pucks, and many a brawl started because one of your pucks went to the far end of the ice, and somebody had to chase after it. And as they were chasing it, it became a shooting gallery.
Unlikely we'll see that tomorrow as the Spengler Cup concludes. The live coverage of the Davos tournament featuring Davos against Dinamo Riga. Begins at 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific on TSN and TSN Mobile TV. Honest to goodness, this is what they did in the Western Hockey League. One team would come out 30 minutes before the puck drop. They'd warm up for 12 minutes. They'd leave the ice, and the other team would come on and warm up.
It just seems so Neanderthal.
No. Salomaki centers it, and the loose puck cut by everyone. And of course, this tournament was punctuated by one of the all-timers, Pieszczany in 1987 between Canada and the Soviet Union. Both teams disqualified, and the next year Canada went back to Moscow to play the Soviets. It was a straight round robin tournament then, and Jimmy Waite turned in what is quite likely the greatest goaltending performance in the history of the tournament. Canada won 3-2. Waite, I believe, made 38 saves. Doctor something like 48-16, and Joe Sakic said he didn't think they had 10. Seven to go in the third period. Finland setting itself up for a second-place showdown against the Czechs tomorrow. Underway right now in Calgary, Switzerland against Latvia. So if the Swiss win that, they'll be in the thick of the race for the medal round. In Group A, Donskoy works his way in. Dealing back now, tries to center it. There's Hakanpää with a shot. Foyk makes a stop, and he hangs on. You're watching the 2012 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton. Tonight's game story is brought to you by Molson Canadian. Here's the game this land gave us, proud sponsor of Hockey Canada. Salamaki's got a pair of goals and assists. Billy Polka's got a goal and assist on the blue line for the Finns. And Sebastian Foyk and the Danes are heading for the relegation round. Polka.
I wonder if that was one of their big hits.
Who?
Gus Polinsky.
Oh, for Plains Trains and Automobiles.
Yes.
You know, polka.
It's one of their big hits.
Tobias Hansen ahead for Nicholas Jensen. And Jensen finds Oliver Bjorkstrand, the grade 10 student, 16 years old, playing in this tournament. Altonen drops it back for Ruutu. Quick shot, Foyt to save, loose puck. And Bjorkstrand has it. Oliver and Patrick Bjorkstrand playing for their dad, Todd, in this tournament. So a lot of fuss being made about the Hamilton brothers being the second to play in the same tournament for Canada. Not being coached by their dad. Try landing the triple.
Their father was, of course, a 1984 Olympian.
Yes, a bronze medalist in LA, a two-time Olympian, also competed in Seoul in rowing. So no slouch as an athlete himself. Mom was an Olympic basketball player as well. Painen works it down. And a long shot by Polka right on, and Foyk makes the save. Now Spelling brings it back for the Danes. Spelling works his way in, drops it back in front, and he missed Bieram with the pass. And Bieram swings back to pick it up. Plays for Frederikshavn in the Danish Elite League. Most of the players in the Danish League have other jobs. And Patrick Bjorkstrand brings it in. His shot goes high off the glass. Copenhagen, Denmark is just a 45-minute drive from southern Sweden, so most top Danes make their way over to Sweden at some point. There's a long drive. Love down by Gibson. Patrick Bjorkstrand is back into it. 4:34 to go.
Hovenen's going to take a roughing penalty here. So the Danes will get a late power play with 4.5 left.
Vyacheslav Bulanov makes the call. One of the most experienced of the IHF officials working this tournament. Bulanov worked the Olympic gold medals, or the Olympics in Vancouver. Has worked 5 World Juniors, World Championships.
So they're okay here. The scrum's going on. He's letting them go until the last punch, when Hovenen is the one that goes to the penalty box.
Finland penalty to number 8. 2 minutes for roughing.
4.5 to go, and the Danes on the power play. Here's Spelling with it. Denmark in the A pool of the World Junior for the second time, has still not won a game. Played in 2008, went 0 for 7 and got relegated. Patrick Bjorkstrand waits and shoots. That was blocked. Germany coming up next year. Now Meyer works it in. Meyer drops it back to Jensen, plays it across, and the shot hammered wide by Spelling. Christensen to Meyer. Plays it back to Jensen. Spelling trying to feed that across. It's intercepted, knocked down by Hannikainen. He sends it ahead to Ruutu. In shorthanded, Ruutu shoots, and Foyk got a shoulder on that. Now Spelling fans on that pass and gets it back. Pass across to Spelling, but he left the ice on a change. And Bieram has it knocked away. Meyer in across the line, stays onside. 35 seconds to go on the power play. Nikolai Meyer sends it back in front, hammered wide by Bieram. Now Bieram back with it for Meyer. Meyer centers it, and he missed Sondergaard with it. 25 seconds to go on the power play. Painen works ahead with Hämäläinen. 52-25 are the shots on goal in an 8-1 game. Sondergaard lifts it around. Jensen's back out there for the power play, but the puck got by Jannik Christensen.
Both teams are playing at
And
full
the
strength.
penalized player is back on the ice with 2.5 to go in the third. Ristolainen or Polka. And Marcus Granlund feeds it in front. Polka and shoots and scores. That's 3 for Polkanen. And it's 9-1 Finland.
Three successive goals, 7, 8, and 9 on the board for Timo Pulkkinen. He's alone in front of the net, and he shows quick hands off the rebound. Marcus Granlund chips this to the net. One stop by Foyk, and Pulkkinen puts the rebound away.
Meantime, as that was going on, Alexander Ruutu has gone to the Finnish dressing room. So that's another Finn who has left this game. They came in short 2, and they've had 2 more go down as Mäkinen went in, and now Ruutu. So we'll get updates on them in a short turnaround for the Finns and play the Czechs in an important game tomorrow afternoon. Here's Polkanen, back he goes. Marcus Granlund shoots. That was blocked up and out of play with 1:57 to go in the third.
Take a look at what happened to Ruutu. He's going to take a high stick right here as the puck, or rather the stick from Bjorkstrand ramps up Ruutu's stick. Gets it in the side of the face or jaw. So he is headed to the Finnish locker room.
And there's an icing call against the Danes with 1:51 to go.
Tonight's attendance is
So Raimo Halmanen's team will battle the Czech Republic tomorrow. The winner will get second place, which would mean they'd face the third place team from Group A in the quarterfinals. Here's Polka with it. His shot gets blocked. And now a quick shot there by Ristolainen, knocked away, and on the rebound, that shot from Donskoy knocked away as well. In comes Jensen with it. Nicholas Jensen battles down the corner. Jensen and the Danes, a victory in this tournament would be to not be relegated. That's the key. And now they've pulled their goaltender as there's a penalty coming to the Danes. And Gibson actually went to the Finnish pitch with 1:20 to go in a 9-1 game.
Oh, and it's Jensen again.
Wow.
It's all the earmarks of a player that is remarkably frustrated.
That's his second penalty this period.
One for elbowing when he got his hands up into the face of Pulkkinen. This time a behind-the-play slashing penalty.
Minutes for slashing, 18 minutes 40 seconds.
So Finland on the power play with 1 minute to go in the third period. Polka ahead for Donskoy. Donskoy winds his way in, drops it across for Armia. Couldn't find that pass in his skates. Battle away for it. Sondergaard down there. And Tobias Hansen has time, lifts it down to the Finnish zone. Polka drops it ahead. This is Donskoy with it. So this game settled a couple things, and this day settled a couple things. Canada clinches first place in Group B. This win by the Finns knocks the United States out of the medal round. And the only thing left to be settled in Group B is the order for second and third, and that'll come down to the Finn-Czech game tomorrow. Final seconds, loose in front. Marcus Granlund turned away, rebound, score. There's Polkanen. He's got 4.
Timo Pulkkinen, who came in with no goals in the tournament, now leaves with 4. This one from the goal crease.
I'm surprised that counts, but
As well as Pulkkinen's already set up shop in the net. The officials are having a word at center ice here. but they will, it looks like they will count it. Pulkkinen will get his fourth. Marcus Granlund his second assist in the last couple of minutes.
So Denmark goes 0-4 in the opening round as Pulkkinen shoots again and scores at the buzzer. And Pulkkinen wants his fifth, and he's asking to go on the phone to see. And they're going to do it. Holman having a laugh on the Finnish bench.
The play is under review.
Pulkkinen can really, of course, shoot the puck. This he blows past Sebastian Foyt. It will not count. This is called a cookie monster. Go for the late cookie. Timo Pulkkinen tries to trigger his 10th, or rather the team's 11th. They've got 10. That's plenty. The Finns back-to-back good games, Gordon.
Yeah, and they'll need another one against the Czechs tomorrow. It is no goal. The final score, 10-1
There is no goal.
in favor of the Finns. To improve their record to 2-1 in this World Junior Championship as they get set to play the Czechs tomorrow.
Well, they got that top line going. We mentioned that the Finns would need them, and they certainly got it moving tonight.
Pulkkinen's got 4, and we're back right after this.